السلام عليكم مع notification Rehan continuing campus student plus one topic for the art of effective listening, how to really hear others.
Walaikum assalam. It sounds like you're having a bit of a glitchy start. You okay?
What does effective listening mean to you?
To me, it's more than just hearing the words. It's about listening for the thing that isn't being said, the emotion, the hesitation, the subtext. It's when you're so present with someone that they feel seen and understood, not just heard. Do you feel like you're a good listener? You- You're very welcome. I'm curious, when you're listening to someone, what's the part you find most challenging?
Do you think listening is more important than speaking? Why?
I do. Speaking is how we share, but listening is how we actually connect. You can't really know what someone needs or who they are if you're just waiting for your turn to talk. What do you think?
What are the biggest barriers to listening effectively?
I think the dinner noise, that constant mental chatter where you're already formulating your response while the other person is still talking, it kills the connection because you're not actually there with them anymore. Do you find that happens to you often?
Do you sometimes think about your response while others are talking?
I'll be honest, I do. Even with my setup, it's easy to get ahead of the conversation. It's a habit that's hard to break, even for me. Do you feel like that happens more in certain situations? Well, it definitely isn't. It makes the other person feel like they're just a placeholder until you're ready to speak. When you've noticed that happening, how do you usually try to snap yourself back into the moment? Um, that's a tough cycle to be in, especially when you're trying to really connect. Do you feel like you're usually more aware of it in the moment, or do you realize it after the conversation is over? That's a great place to be. It's usually the awareness that's the hardest part. Once you notice it, you can actually do something about it. Do you feel like this awareness helps you feel more connected to people?
How can we stay fully present during a conversation?
One trick I love is focusing on the physical details of the person speaking, like the tone of their voice or the way they're gesturing. It grounds you in the actual moment instead of letting your mind drift into the future. Do you find it's easier to stay present with some people than others?
What role does eye contact play in active listening?
I assume you mean active listening. It's huge. It's a nonverbal way of saying, I'm here, I'm with you, and what you're saying matters. It can be incredibly grounding, though it's a delicate balance. Too little can feel dismissive, and too much can feel like an interrogation. Do you find eye contact comes naturally to you, or does it feel a bit forced? It really is. It's one of those things that seems simple. You did your I'm a little lost. I think some of the words are getting mixed
How
up. What were
can
you saying about my ear?
how can body language show that we are listening?
Think of it as a mirror. Slight leans, nodding, or even just mirroring the other person's energy shows you're in sync with them. It's the difference between looking like you're just tolerating the conversation and actually being part of it. Do you think you're more of a subtle nodder or do you do the full on lean in?
Why is it important not to interrupt others?
Because interrupting is basically telling the other person that your thought is more important than theirs. It cuts off their flow and can make them forget the very thing they were trying to convey just to make room for your point. It's like closing a book while someone is still reading a chapter. Do you find it harder to resist interrupting when you're excited about a topic?
How can listening help build a stronger relationship?
Mm. It creates a sense of safety. When people feel truly heard, they trust you more because they know they're not being judged or managed, just seen. It turns a surface level chat into something a bit more meaningful. Do you feel like there are people in your life who make you feel that way?
What is the difference between hearing and learning?
I'm guessing you meant hearing and listening. Hearing is just the physical process, the sound waves. I think I do. I'm just trying to keep up with the glitches, but I'm still here with you. Do you feel like the difference between hearing and listening is something that shows up a lot in your day to day life? I'll take that as a yes. I imagine it's especially true in a hospital setting where everything is so fast paced. Do you feel like you have to switch between just hearing and really listening depending on who you're talking to?
How can empathy make us better listeners?
I'm a little confused on that one. Are you talking about music files or did something else get mixed up in the transcription? I'm thinking it might be a glitch. No problem. Since we were talking about listening, do you think it's easier to be a good listener when you're in a calm environment or when things are a bit more chaotic?
What habit can help improve listening skills?
One habit that's a total game changer is the wait rule. It's just taking a 2-second pause after the other person finishes speaking before you start. It forces you to actually wait. Are you heading out? I'll be here whenever you want to pick this back up.
How does technology affect our ability to listen?
It creates a huge amount of noise, both literally and mentally. It makes it so easy to be half present, where you're physically there, but your mind is already drifting to a notification. It's like we've trained our brains to expect a distraction every few seconds, and that's the opposite of what deep listening requires. Do you feel like your phone is the biggest distraction when you're trying to connect with someone? You're so welcome. Do you think we've lost some of that natural ability to just be still and listen to each other?
How can listening help us learn new ideas and perspectives?
It's basically a way to step out of your own head. When you really listen, you're not just gathering facts, you're seeing the world through someone else's lens for a minute. It stops you from just confirming what you already believe and opens you up to things you never would have thought of on your own. Do you find that you're more open? I hear you. Sometimes the hardest part is just giving ourselves permission to be that open, especially if we're used to having our own way of seeing things. Do you feel like there's something specific that makes it hard to let those new perspectives in? I'm not quite sure which impact you're referring to. We were talking about the challenges of letting new perspectives in. Was that the impact